Hello everybody, this is Empreau here, and with the release of the Dominion Biosyn expansion not too long ago, I figured I'd give my concepts and ideas of DLCs I would like to see in the future for Jurassic World Evolution 2. Before we begin, this is a 3-part series, with the first part being the quality of life changes and species packs, the second one being actual DLCs, and the third one being the biggest DLC that I would add. Now, a lot of these ideas came from the communities, especially Reddit, and I should say these ideas are just ideas and concepts. I'm not forcing Frontier to add them as many people think, and they are just what I would add to the game. My concepts are composed of 13 packs and 8 DLC, so 21 paid content in total. The price of these were estimated on previous DLCs I'd taken off the Dominion Biosyn expansion and the early Cretaceous pack. And so with the species, with an estimation of around 4 to 6 species per DLC, with an exception. I feel like all of this DLC would complete the game. Now, let's get started. First, I will talk about the quality of life changes. Many of these were asked by the community. Pterosaurs can walk. Now, with the introduction of the Quetzalcoatlus, I think pterosaurs should be able to walk. Now, we've had them being able to land on rocks before, but just take it a step further, quite literally. An improved terrain system. This would add the abilities to make waterfalls, cliffs, and flowing rivers. This is present in games like Prehistoric Kingdom, and it looks beautiful, and we really should have had an improved terrain tool system from the first game. Guests in your park would give actual feedback, and this could be a toggle for sandbox, maybe playing an important role in challenge mode, where your guests would say, I like this dinosaur, but you could also have this dinosaur, and then give their rating out of 5, a bit like Planet Zoo. A better lagoon system with, I would add, lagoon fences, which basically you can keep sections in the game, but lagoon fences, you can build a lagoon using fences and then fill it with water. But more importantly, you can cut your lagoon into sections with having one big lagoon in like tiny sections, so you can have multiple species in it without them coming into confrontation. Amenities in hotels should give restroom coverage. I think in every restaurant I've been in, there is always a bathroom, so it makes no sense there are none here. They shouldn't give a very large restroom coverage, maybe a mid to small one. We've wanted complete skin previews before the game came out, and it's really need it before you incubate your dinosaurs. The amphitheatre from the Lost World should be a placeable attraction in sandbox and whatnot. Some time and cost rebalancing would be nice. Aquatic and avian interactions. These new species are very, very bland at the moment. The only interactions we kind of get are hunting animations. Maybe if the aquatic is feeling stressed or not happy in their environment, they could smash up against the viewing gallery glass, or maybe if there's a path nearby the lagoon, they jump out and try to eat some guests. And obviously more interactions with other aquatic species. Same goes with the aviary and the pterosaurs. A researchable larger ranger post. So for this idea, you have your normal ranger post, a medium sized one with a slightly bigger radius, and then the larger one which has the largest zone coverage of all. Turn off aging in sandbox, so your species don't age. We know you can make them immortal, but they still age, so their skin pattern gets a bit dull and they start to get wrinkles. The ability to drive through forests is active when you don't control your rangers. However, you can't drive through 2 trees at a distance 10 meters apart. I just think you should be able to drive through forests. Helicopters can wrangle dinosaurs would be easier. Detachable aviary hatcheries, and aviary hatcheries not needing an aviary would be nice. Just allow the pterosaurs to freely roam in your park. More paths with the system of a dirt path and a plaza path. How the dirt path would work is that it looks like a normal dirt path, but the NPCs walk on it and they know where to go, and it just looks natural and good. More combat animations and variety. It's better than what we got in the first game, but it's not enough for certain things. Infinite feeders and sandbox should have been a given. Rangers should be able to tranquilize. I don't fully agree with this one. This came from Reddit. Weather provision system should be a building, maybe something you can add as a module, where it tells you like maybe a minute before the storm comes a storm might be coming. And the DFW dinosaur system in Sandbox, where basically that's how you get your dinosaurs. It's just like from the campaign, you send out expeditions and capture them in the wild. The decorations that I think should be added into the future: bins, benches, picnic tables, the sort. Bridges which could connect a path and pass over water or a dip or anything would be very, very cool in your park. Maybe with different sizes and different variants. Colorable lights, so you place a light down and you change its color. Torches, more dinosaur skeletons like the Spinosaurus one we got in the game, as well as dinosaur statues, skull displays, new signs, and more rocks and placeable trees would not hurt. And for the lagoons, since they are very bland at the moment, some more plant brushes would be coral, kelp, seaweed and seagrass, just to make our lagoons look prettier, and maybe it's preferred by some aquatic species. Now on we get to these species packs. I have 12 here, with one that could be added as a free update. These packs are marked as £8 each, and so let's start with them. First off, we have the Middle Jurassic pack, so going with the theme of time periods, the next one will have to be Middle Jurassic since we got Early Cretaceous. We have 4 species. Tarbosaurus is a small iguanodontid dinosaur from England. Shinosaurus, a sauropod with a very interesting club tail. Ophthalmosaurus is a bigger ichthyosaur, and maybe you can make it a bit more vibrant and colourful than Ichthyosaurus we got in the game. We've had Attenborosaurus, so why not have Darwinopterus? Next up is the Late Triassic pack. This was the time when dinosaurs did not rule the earth, so there are quite a few species. First up is Goibosaurus, is a bipedal herbivore dinosaur. Camptosaurus is another coelurthicid. Symbospondylus is a very basal long ichthyosaur. Caelestventus is one of the only late Triassic pterosaurs and is another dimorphodontid. The exotic pack adds more exotic and beautiful additions to your park. First up we have Segnosaurus. It's a smaller therizinosaur which could have a bigger social group than Therizinosaurus we got. Kilescus is a small tyrannosaurid related to Proceratosaurus from Russia. Tapaxwara is a pterosaur from Brazil that ate fruit and was omnivorous. Nothosaurus was a quadrupedal reptile that spent most of its time, if not all of its time, in the water. These next packs are based off the continents, so we have Asia, South America, North America, Europe and Africa. First we have Tarbosaurus, probably the most famous Asian tyrannosaur. Zenuanopterus was a pterosaur from China with a very long beak. Prognathodon was a very big mosasaur from the Middle East. Dinochirus was a very interesting dinosaur that many people have wanted in the game from the start. We have the South America pack, which stars Irritator, the famous South American Spinosaur. Dacosaurus is a Metrorhynchid. Ornithochirus is one of the most famous South American pterosaurs, given that there are many of them. And Chilesaurus is a loved South American dinosaur. The North America pack has Aniosaurus, a very unique ceratopsid with its horn. Pliosaurus, it's the pliosaur. Marchosaurus was a very big Jurassic predator. Nyctosaurus is a very small but unique inclusion to the aviary, seeing as I think since we have large ones, why not include small ones to be sort of the Dryosaurus of the aviary. The Europe pack has Durotyran, a very small tyrannosaurid dinosaur. Cetiosaurus, one of the most famous sauropods from the continent. Temnodontosaurus was one of the biggest ichthyosaurs yet. Hatzegopterus Seeing as we have Quetzalcoatlus in the game, and it's very big, I don't think it's too far a stretch they couldn't add Hatzegopterus. The Africa pack has Platycarpus, a mosasaur from the continent, Elaphrosaurus, a fast-running herbivorous dinosaur. Alanka was in Jurassic World the game and is a very famous pterosaur from this continent. And Afrovenator was a very influential theropod from this continent. The special pack adds very unique species to your park. Protostega, I think we should add more than just marine reptiles, so why not add the giant turtles Protostega. Leptoceratops is a very small ceratopsian, cousins with Microceratops. Rugops, the famous abelisaur and dinosaur brute. Thalassodromius is a big pterosaur with an even bigger head crest. The natural pack adds dinosaurs that make your park feel natural. We have Edmontonia, a love nodosaur from North America. Halisaurus, a medium-sized mosasaur. Saurolophus, a hadrosaur with a unique head crest. And Asdarco, which is the same idea as Hatzegopterus, with, since we have Quetzalcoatlus, it's not too far a stretch they couldn't add other bigger pterosaurs. This next one I think has no chance of being added, but if they did, the shark pack, if Frontier would add sharks, which is very, very, very unlikely. We have Cretogyrina, a very large shark from the Cretaceous. Hybodus, possibly the most famous Mesozoic shark. Tychodus is a huge shark with 2 fins, or multiple fins. Heliocoprion has a very unique, interesting looking mouth. Now you're probably wondering, why isn't Megalodon here? Megalodon did not live in the Mesozoic, so thus I'm not adding it into this pack. The next is the avian pack, just to bump up the avian species in the game. We have Rhamphorhynchus, Ludodactylus, which is a bit similar to Pteranodon, but it looks more like its JP3 counterpart. Maybe you can make it look a little more different and slightly bigger. Scaphonatus was a small pterosaur, and Tupandactylus was a pterosaur with a very big head crest that spent a lot of its time on land. Now, either this one should cost money, which I think it doesn't, or it comes free. It comes as a free part of the next free update. The Dominion pack. Now these are species that we never got in the Dominion Biosyn expansion. These are 5, consisting of Oviraptor, Microceratus, Morose, Lystrosaurus and Atrociraptor. Now I don't know if this pack will be added or not, so Microceratus was added in one of the DLCs that I have mentioned later. That is part 1 of the series. Now I hope you guys did like part 1, and I will see you with part 2, which is the real DLCs that I would add to this game.